Welcome to Barcelona, and thank you very much for being here today. Convening this War and Peace seminar in Barcelona has become a tradition. I understand the discussions today will focus mainly on security and geopolitics, but I would invite all of you to remember that freedom from fear is intrinsically linked to freedom from want.
The current war in Ukraine following Russian aggression represents an unprecedented challenge to the European security architecture.
I hope that we can get some light in the two topics we are going to discuss. First, how we can help to find a solution to the situation in Ukraine. And second, see how the European Union can be a more important players in the days that we have ahead of us.
If we reach those levels of vertical escalation, CW, nuclear, well then by definition the conflict is not confined to Ukraine. Until there is another type of government in Russia, I suspect there is not going to be any serious possibility of the EU embracing Russia.
Now with this crisis, I think there is fear, and that would be quite dramatic, that obviously prices continue to increase quite a bit. And because of all the uncertainty related to the war, there is also impact on output. And that means high inflation and problems on output. Means stagflation. So it's going to be very tricky, for the authorities, for the monetary authorities and the fiscal authorities in Europe.
We've really seen a greater European and transatlantic unity than we've seen in quite some time. We have seen the EU, as it was mentioned, step up to a larger degree as a geopolitical actor than we ever imagined it could. In this sense, I think in the last 2 weeks, Vladimir Putin has done more for European integration than anyone since Jean Monnet.
What cyber means and technology can do during the warfare, actually it can change the course of war. Now, interestingly, in Ukraine we haven't seen any of that happening. Doesn't mean that the cyber will not be used in the near future, maybe not against Ukraine, but against the countries imposing sanctions.
The war in Ukraine is more than a war about the future of Ukraine. It really is a war in which it and the world are caught in a struggle between at least two models of international order. We do need to think about how Russia will find a way back into the international community.
Russia will definitely pay a very hard price for ignoring Europe. It will be economic, financial and technological, including definitely dependence on other countries, which is China in this specific case.
It can't be about Europe and the UK alone, it must be global, and that the UK becomes a very important country for leveraging and trying to move one of the most significant relationships, which of course is India.
I feel appalling to hear that no one's mentioning NATO enlargement here. It's a badly managed humanitarian crisis, basically. That's what Chinese would think. This is very badly managed one particular international relationship that ends in major humanitarian crisis.
It's quite clear from our discussions that we are in this mentality, at least, of a new sort of order emerging. At the moment when this new set of norms, this new set of institutions is not designed yet, and the former norms and institutions are contested, well, conflicts happen. And this is exactly what we are witnessing now in Ukraine. A big conflict with tragic humanitarian consequences that we should never lose sight of.